Could you explain, please, to us, what does it actually mean to be a leader?
That's a good question. And that's something that's been debated from the beginning of time, and currently in our leadership schools and university is still being debated to this day. One of the basic questions is a leader made or is a leader born? And the reality is it's about an 80-20 principle, I think. About 20% you're born with in terms of leadership gifts and attributes and abilities. And about 80% of it is skills and experience that's acquired and learned over time. Some people learn and apply the principles of life. It's very possible to go through life and experience things and not learn from that. So being a learning person, a teachable person that's always looking, always studying, always realizes that they don't know it all and are always willing to learn something new. Those are the kind of leaders that develop over time to be very, very effective. So the key to being a leader, in essence, is not so much what you accomplish as an individual, but rather what you accomplish through a team. Leadership is all about leading teams. You can be a part of the team, and most of us will start as a part of a team. And what we do physically with our own hands, our own work, whatever that may be, it's not leadership. Getting and accomplishing goals through a team, that's leadership, and that's a different skill set altogether.
So, I mean, how has the leadership role, changed over the years? What is different? What it meant to be a leader like 10, 20, 50, 100 years ago, and what does it mean today?
Right, great question. Well, just a few hundred years ago, the entire world was agriculture. 95% of the jobs were basically farming and basically, life essential kind of things. There were some specific skills, blacksmiths and others, but generally speaking, most people were farmers and lived out in the land. Well, in the Industrial Revolution, that changed, and people began to mass move to cities. Factories were created, and we moved into the industrial age. And in that era, for about 180 years, leadership was pretty simple. It was a top-down type of a approach. Basically, you had bosses, you had employees, and the employees simply did what the bosses told them to do. Things were pretty straightforward, assembly lines, manufacturing, building things, very repetitious. And that kind of a leadership approach worked relatively well in the industrial age. Well, when I joined the workforce in 1977-80 timeframe, well, the world changed once again and moved into what we call now the information age. And suddenly now it's that leadership model and management model of the past doesn't work very well. It used to be the leader was like a cop. He patrolled and he enforced the rules. That was his job. Whereas in leadership now in the information age, as we talk about leading teams, innovative teams, it's all about being a coach. And I think everyone can understand the metaphor, leadership metaphor of a coach on a soccer team, right? A coach is not the fastest runner. He's not the best goalie. His job and role is very different, very distinct. And it is basically recruiting the very best talent and making sure the right people with the very best talent are in the right places, doing the very, very best that they can, and making sure that the team as a whole is functioning optimally. Okay, so every coach realizes no individual superstar is going to win the game or the tournament. It's going to be a group of players working together in harmony as a team, releasing innovation, releasing creativity. And when you release the power of that team, you win games. And that's true in soccer. It's true in business. It's going to be true in every single one of the disciplines that are listening to me speak today, whether you're in finance or whether you go into the medical field as a doctor, whether you're a lawyer, a businessman, or a politician, whatever it is that you do, these principles of leadership will apply to you in the information age.
So I would like to just go a little bit back, to your experience, everything that you went through the U.S. Air Force, maybe just a little bit. If you can share with us, some of your experiences, what was it like, just to get a sense of feeling of how does leadership work in the military?
Well, the military has a very well-defined pipeline, if I can say. You enter in as a young person, young soldier, young airman, or seaman, or whatever the field may be, and you basically start from the bottom, and you work your way through, and the system is very well designed to develop you so that you get the right experiences and the right education at the right time, so that if you have the potential for greater responsibility and promotion, that's afforded to you. So when I started off as an airman, that kind of career path for the next 25, 30 years was pretty laid out for me in terms of what does it take to go from an airman and get promoted to the next rank. Then became an officer after 8 years, and was commissioned as a second lieutenant. And so it's fairly well defined. What does it take to become a captain? And then from a captain to be promoted to a major, and from a major to a lieutenant colonel and on. And the key to that is doing the very best job that you can where you're at. So don't worry and focus so much on your future, because your future is going to be determined by what you do today. If you do an excellent job today, your future will take care of itself. I promise you. You will be promoted in due time. And that, I was told that as a young officer. That was great leadership, wisdom, and counsel that I received that I took to heart. So as a part of a team, what you want to do is you want to do everything in your power to make that team succeed. And whoever your team leader is, you want to make your team leader succeed. That's where you start. The greatest leaders that there has ever been first started as the greatest followers. So learn to be a great follower, great, dependable, innovative, creative, always supportive, always building up the team rather than being selfish, self-centered, self-focused. How do I get promoted? What's best for me? That's the opposite of being a good leader. So a good follower. So to be a good follower, you have to really, really put your whole heart into making the team succeed, making your team leader succeed. And I promise you, you do that, and tomorrow will take care of itself. You'll be promoted in due time. And then you'll see what it's like to have people working for you and your team, and what you look for in followers, right? You're not looking for people that are causing trouble and causing strife and have poor relational skills and are always causing conflict, and they're more trouble than they're worth. You're going to be looking for the same kind of followers that hopefully you were in the beginning.